right. Well, congratulations to everyone that is watching this video. You have by now received your official invitation to join the Nebraska 2020-21 ODP state pools. So congratulations on making it to this next phase. Really appreciate everyone's participation and look forward to working with your players as we move into this next stage of the ODP program. Wanted to just kind of cover, again, a couple informational things. Want to talk about this next phase and what it means, and then talk about a bit of the commitment before you pay the fee and commit to being a part of the pool. And want to make sure that we have laid the groundwork for a very successful state pool program this winter. So again, congratulations. We had over 460 participants in the ODP selection camp, which was amazing, in 12 different age groups. 31 cities were represented, but ultimately we are trying to build one Nebraska State ODP. So congratulations again. It's a huge achievement, and hopefully it's something that your children enjoyed and took a lot away from in the selection camp, and definitely more to come, all right? So again, our philosophy for US Youth ODP: identifying players for the highest caliber on a continuing and consistent basis, which will lead to increased success for US national teams in the international arena. Ultimately, that is what this program's objective is. The purpose of Nebraska ODP is to identify and provide opportunities for high potential players, facilitate their development, expose them to that next level of their chosen pathway, whether that's college, whether that's professional, whether that's just even high school and high level club soccer. We just want to help them progress and develop and give a different environment, not a better environment, not something that is completely something that you should neglect other stuff to be a part of. It's complementary, right? That word again. Using this program in its unique format to complement what these players are getting in their home club environments, their home school environments, and so trying to complement that by giving them something different that helps make them a better player, because it is a little bit different, right? And that uniqueness will help develop them into a player that can hopefully come home to their club team and impact the home club as well. So I just wanted to share some of the highlights of selection camp. Obviously, huge appreciation to our staff. Not all the coaches that were participating in selection camp are going to move on with us to the state pool phase. Obviously, we're very, very appreciative of all the coaches that jumped in and helped train our kids and lead those sessions for us, that allowed the ODP state staff to do evaluations while they ran sessions. And obviously, and we wanted to have more staff on board, but we anticipated a camp of about 200 to 250 kids. It ballooned to 460. It was hard to get staff in the last minute as those registrations piled in that last week before selection camp. We were able to get a few more staff added for the second weekend to do evaluations. And so very much appreciate the coaches that jumped on. And for some certain schools and certain reasons, the colleges didn't want to advertise who was participating, but obviously they brought a high level of training, a high level of soccer knowledge to the program, and we just want to thank them. And we don't need to publicize their involvement. Your kids benefited from their wisdom and their experience by being at the camp, and so we just want to thank them. And hopefully when you see them around the state, just thank them for their participation in ODP, and we look forward to having them partner with us again in the future. Also want to give a huge thank you to Union Omaha, our official partners that helped us with the whole camp and the experience. Obviously, having the Union Omaha players there to help give back to the game was an awesome experience for our players. Sam Howard, goalkeeper for Union Omaha, who also was a Save of the Week winner for USL League One. He's going to be joining us as an ODP goalkeeper staff member, along with Michael Gabb, and going to be continuing to impart his knowledge of being a professional goalkeeper. Sebastian Contreras obviously was a huge benefit to some of the kids at the camp the second weekend, giving back to them and jumping in and giving them huge coaching points and small things, being able to say, hey, this is what I've been doing as a professional soccer player, developing in my career. Obviously something that our kids can benefit from. Also, all the staff that did all hours of the evaluations and everything, huge thanks to them for the time and effort they put into evaluating our players and helping us select these pools. So if you see them, if you engage with them around the state in different capacities, definitely reach out to them, thank them. We would love to have them back. And obviously, they help provide the experience that I've heard such great compliments from you guys and from your kids. And so we want to make sure that we show our appreciation to our staff. All right, so just a reminder, the whole objective of selection camp was obviously fun and growth and enjoyment, but we're also trying to identify a state pool for Nebraska ODP. And so this first phase here of Nebraska ODP, the state pool will participate in 2 training weekends, 2 training mini camps. And again, it's different than in years past. We decided to take the weeks that we had reserved at Papillion Landing and block them into mini camps. And this way our players actually hopefully will have a little bit of time to work with the staff and improve in a little bit of a concentrated training environment over a couple days to try and get better at certain concepts that they're wanting to work on. Understand too that maybe this is a little bit different than in years past. Totally get that. Different does not necessarily mean better. It's just different. And so we want to try this and see how it goes. Also, it gives an opportunity for our athletes from out of Omaha metro area to come in and participate and stay the night and get more than an hour of training before leaving town. So we're going to try something different, see how that goes. Always welcome feedback. But we're hoping that in these concentrated training environments that they're going to see a little bit of improvement, a little bit of continuity in developing the themes that the coaches are wanting to work with our kids on. Obviously, as we transition from state pool, we're going to be putting together rosters of 17 to 18 players to represent the state at the 2 competitions that we're going to be participating in. And at those competitions, our players will be identified possibly to go on to the Midwest pool in Saginaw, Michigan at the Midwest ID camp, and then potentially national training camp, and participating and representing our country at the MLS Next and US Youth National camps. So that is the process. Phase 1, the state pool. This is our Nebraska ODP state staff. You'll get this in the email and in further communication along the way. I just want to say I am so happy with the staff that we've been able to put together this year. Staffs of previous years, obviously, huge thank you and huge respect for all the time and energy they put into it. Several invitations did go out to previous staff. Obviously, a lot of schedules, some job changes, a lot of things happen. But honestly, also, we reached out to some of these staff members too right away. We wanted to put together the best staff that we possibly could for our Nebraska ODP program. We have 9 current college coaches on our state staff this year, 3 coaches that were former college coaches that are not coaching college any longer, A-licensed coaches, premier diploma coaches, and obviously we have 2 members that are currently or have been on the Midwest Region ODP staff. So the experience on this staff is going to be great. They bring a lot of knowledge, a lot of experience that is different maybe from years past or maybe even next year. But we're excited about the staff we have this year. We hope to build some continuity with the staff going forward. And obviously those coaches are going to be working with your kids throughout the state pool phase and then also at the team competitions. Thank you so much to our staff who's agreed to participate and agreed to give up their time to be a part of this program this year. Make sure you show them how much you're appreciative of them and because we are so fortunate to have put this staff together in the short time since I was hired at the end of August. And again, this has been such a huge labor. We did not want the program to go away this year. Being hired at the end of August, we already missed the first window when we had tryouts last year. So I understand it's a little bit different of a format than previous years because we are in such a condensed, and then you throw COVID on top of all this. I really do appreciate all the positive feedback I've gotten from everyone. We're trying to put together the best program we can this year. And I am very, very happy with what has happened so far in 2020-21 cycle. And we just want to continue just to add to that. And again, this staff is going to be part of why this is such a great experience for our players. Again, want to just re-emphasize the ODP difference that I feel representative soccer, which is what ODP program is, brings for your children. obviously our coaches, and now you know who they are. And again, it's not about the coaches necessarily for each of the age groups. This is such a short amount of time. These coaches are going to definitely give them the best that they have in those amounts of time. But obviously, where you go for club soccer and who your coaches are back home are probably going to have a more lasting impact on the development of the kids. It's really the environment, right? It's the other players they get to play with. It's the other players they get to play against. It's the environment of putting themselves in a unique situation, learning from that, and taking that home to their club environment. That's what is really the ODP difference. Being a representative of your home club, coming here and being in a different pool and a different environment with different players and coaches, and then representing our state of Nebraska against other states, and then hopefully representing your state at the region ID camp. So again, it is the coaching, but it's the education, right? So hopefully it's not just when you're actually at the training session, but it's as you're walking off the field, asking coaches or hearing what coaches are saying, because it's a different perspective. So hopefully it's the education. And obviously we're doing virtual classroom type stuff this year too with the players. So hopefully they're going to gain knowledge from that as well, but also at the practices when they hear coaches dropping different nuggets, picking those nuggets up and applying them back home. Not because it's special or unique in what the coaches are saying, but maybe it's just different. And maybe the players heard it in a different way or related in a different training activity. And then they can take that home in a different, with just a different perspective, right? Obviously, we've talked about the environment over and over again, complementing what's happening back home. The competition against other players, but also against the 12 other states in our region. Exposure. We talked about the number of college coaches that were a part of selection camp, plus the college coaches that are going to be a part of all the different sub-region and interstate competitions, and obviously the coaches that are at Midwest Region ID camp, and the opportunity to just be self-reflecting through this entire process. So the process selection camp hopefully was informative for your players to reflect and learn from that experience. Now state pool will be another opportunity to reflect and learn from this experience and take that stuff home to their development as a player and as a person, right? This is challenging in other ways, not just in soccer, but in other ways, hopefully giving them skills to develop and improve and be a better leader in our communities as they grow older. And ultimately that's what we want. And along the way, we're identifying players that can maybe help our region and help maybe the youth national teams. So again, just a reminder of the process. We just completed selection camps. We're moving into team formation. So the state pools of about 32 participants. And it's a little bit different for the U12 age groups, but we're gonna have about 32 players in the state pools training over 2 separate mini camps. And from that pool of 32 players, 17 to 18 players will be selected to participate in the state competitions. Now, it might not be the same 18 players because of schedules and things like that and commitments. That's fine. But everybody in the pool is eligible to participate in those state teams. And it's up to the head coaches in each of the age groups to select their 17 to 18 players. And then based on availability, we use the other players in the pool to fill those rosters and take the strongest team we can to those to the interregional or interstate competitions. And then obviously from there, hopefully some of our kids in each age group get selected and identified by the region staff to participate in the Midwest Region ID camp in July in Saginaw. And again, that's all tentative right now, and we hope that those things happen. But again, we're going to keep progressing as long as we're told we're allowed to, doing things as safely as we possibly can. We are going to require masks because we are going to be at indoor training facility for the rest of the cycle. We're going to require masks by the players as they're training, as well as our coaches. And we're also going to limit the amount of people able to come in and watch. And so I appreciate everyone's help in making sure that we're keeping everybody safe. Didn't have a single complaint or have anybody question why we were doing those things. I really do appreciate that. And so thank you so much for helping us create a safe environment. Throughout the state pool process, your players will also continue to be evaluated in the six key qualities of a U.S. youth national team player. And those 6 qualities: game understanding and decision-making, taking initiative and being proactive, focused for the entire game on their task, optimal technical, optimal physical literacy to execute their tasks for 90+ minutes, and taking responsibility and accountability for their own development and performance. Obviously, being a part of representative soccer, it's not a consistent training environment. It's these small pockets of opportunity. And so the players taking responsibility and being responsible for their own development away from those opportunities is what sets apart the great, great players. So again, we're going to start the evaluation process over again. It's going to be a little bit more comprehensive in the state pool process, obviously, but our head coaches are committed to giving your players feedback, and then we're going to help guide the players through developing a personal development plan. And some of those are going to be ongoing conversations with the players through Zoom meetings and Zoom classroom meetings during the whole process this season. How can you help your child? And again, just always want you to partner with us in making this a unique experience for your players. So obviously we have individuals that are driving long distances to come to these mini camps and participate on those car rides home, whether it's a couple hours or a couple minutes. Can you talk to your kids about what were their key takeaways? Help them reflect on the experience, help them reflect on the sessions, help them reflect on the moments that are outside the field as they're interacting with other players or interacting with the coaches, at water breaks or things like that. Have them journal. Can't stress this enough. I strongly encourage our state pool players to have a journal after every mini camp, after every session, reflecting on their key takeaways. What were those nuggets that they grabbed from the state staff? Identifying areas of growth is part of that reflection, but also asking the staff coaches, looking at the feedback from the coaches on the assessments, right? And the 6 key qualities. And then always ask them, what was their favorite part of the weekend? Each of these mini camp weekends, what was their favorite experience? Was it a conversation they had with a teammate that they met that was from a completely different town? Remember, we had over 31 cities represented, or 31 towns represented at selection camp. How many different things could they take away from that experience? Maybe it was something that a coach said to them, just a small thing. Maybe it was a small moment in a game or a scrimmage or a practice. Find out what was their favorite experience for each camp, and make sure you record those things, put it down, identify those things, and please let me know. I would love that feedback, would love to hear about those small little victories. It doesn't have to be big. That's why I enjoy this, is to hear those things. So thank you so much for partnering with us to make this a great experience. Congratulations again to our State Pool 2020-21 team participants. I look forward to working with your kids. I look forward to seeing them at the Pavilion Landing over the winter. And I look forward to seeing our kids compete, grow, and be better versions of themselves because they were a part of this program. Thank you so much again for your participation.